So here's today's little broadcast. I'm just going to put the sunnies on because it's a really sunny day here today in Auckland. But here's today's broadcast from the shambles known as Albert Street. It used to be a good street, this street. It used to be a very productive street. So looking behind me, I'll just walk over here. You can see right down to the harbour down there. But as I do a 180 rotation here, you can see the chaos behind me. A couple of buses there. That's chaos in itself, Auckland transport. But the situation here that I want to talk about today is that commercial building behind me there, that one with Holiday Inn Express on it. That was 2 years in the making. So 2 years to erect the commercial building. And beside that, we have the pipe fencing over there, the scaffolding, for a Manson's project. Now, you never hear me say a bad word about the Mansons. They do a fantastic job in this town. They build quality buildings. But what I can tell you is in the time it's taken to build that Holiday Inn Express building, this shambles behind me, where those buses are going, which is also part of the city rail loop, has moved exactly one set of lights. That's right, that building up there, that building behind me, that was built from scratch, constructed, completed and occupied. In the same time, this shambles behind me has moved one single set of lights. Now, who's responsible for this? That's the question. You need to ask yourself, what role has Gough had in this? Well, of course, we all know he hasn't had a role, has he? That's why we've ended up in this state. What role has our very dear friend Vanilla Viv from Rip the Heart Out of the City had? Well, she's had no role either. She's sat back and watched it happen. And what about the small business operators in the interim? What about the victims here? There's the beautiful old Shakespeare Tavern behind me. What a great old tavern it's been in its day. Was, of course, the go-to place for the Herald, for the journalists. And we know all journalists, almost all, are drunks. So they had a good solid business, but that's been torn apart as well. So I'm going to head now down to the harbour, and I know there's a bit of an appetite for a shorter version of these daily broadcasts, but as I walk, I want you to look back over my shoulder and reflect on exactly what's happened to this city. These people all have mortgages, all these small business owners. These people have family, wives and children, school fees to pay. Some of them have rent to pay. And this is what's happened their city. This is the city managed by Gough, the existing council, Auckland Transport, and Rip the Heart Out of the City, Vanilla Viv. What can you say? I'm almost in tears even looking at this shambles, thinking about this shambles, thinking about the collateral damage, the carnage, absolute carnage. It is a disgrace. But I'll tell you the good news. This little fella looking at you down the barrel of the camera, he's going to be mayor soon. And when I'm mayor, this is all going to come to an end. It's going to get finished, completed, and we're never going to see this again. We're never going to see the abuse of small business. Look at all these empty buildings beside me. Look at this. Empty buildings. Every building's empty. All for lease. Every single building beside me. I'm walking down Albert Street. Second biggest street in Auckland City. Every building's for lease. That's today's sermon. Leo for mayor. Don't forget, vote early. Postal voting, tell all your mates to vote. We are going to sort this shambles out, and I'm embarrassed to say that we've stood back, not me personally, but the city has stood back and allowed this to happen. It is a disgrace. Over and out, talk tomorrow. Bye now.